Good evening, and welcome to session 8 of RM Truth. Now, with the brand new live video format. I'm so excited about this. It's been a little while for sure since our last session, which I think was in July. And as many of you know, I went through a lot of personal changes since then. Jump-started my traveling lifestyle, went out to San Diego for a little while, which was amazing. And yeah, so part of that time too was trying to figure out, what direction I wanted to take the chat in, and, how I was going to keep it going through the months and years, and just really seeing how I can make sure that it's always valuable for people. So for those who missed the chat, I'm so happy that it's back for you now, and hopefully you're excited as well. I'm checking out Twitter here to see who has joined us. If you guys are here, just feel free to jump in, introduce yourself, make sure you're using the hashtag RMTruth so that everybody who is here today can see you and say hi to you and interact during our time together. Wow, so I'm so excited. So first, I want to let you guys know, of course, I've got my lovely glass of red wine in my hand. I actually put cinnamon in it because my friend Kate Spivak told me that it's the best thing ever to put in your red wine. And it's actually make sure I have this right, a 2013 Valdiki, which I got through my Club W subscription. So, every great, every great conversation starts over a great glass of wine. So if you actually click the link to the right of this chat, of this video, you'll see a link to Club W where you can try your first bottle on me. It's just a way to say thank you for joining me tonight and spending some time with me. So tonight, our topic is, what do you really want? And I see Erica at Red Cat Inc. has joined us. Hey, Erica. Brittany Andreessen is here as well. Who else do we have on the chat? Sorry, totally skip what I was saying there. So we're talking about, what do you really want? And it's all about planning to get the most out of 2015. So, if you're anything like me, you had a lot of goals for 2014. Maybe half of those things actually happened, whether it was because you planned very well or they just sort of happened to work out, which had been my story for most of the year. Maybe only half of the things that you set out to accomplish in 2014 did you actually accomplish. So I want to talk about why didn't you get everything accomplished that you wanted to, and what could be some of the barriers to getting those things done in 2015, and how can we avoid those things now. I also want to talk about this one critical element that I think we kind of forget about when we set our goals. And yeah, so it's a fun chat tonight. Bear with me, by the way. Two things I want to mention. One is that I am managing this chat all by myself. So if you see me switching my attention here, I'm just queuing up the cues. I want to make sure that the timing makes sense for everybody. So I'll be queuing up the cues and then sort of checking the chat to make sure, that I get to see everybody's responses and comments. The other thing too, which is really, really great, is that if you are on the website, it should be rm-harrison.com / oh crap, what is it? It's Watch RM Truth Live. You can see this. You can see the video, the broadcast, but you can also see the live chat as it's happening. And I'm using an extension called TWUBS, which is really great. And if you want to chime in, just log into there's a link right there to log in with your Twitter account, and you'll be able to chime in as well. And by the way, I'm getting over a cold, so if you see me clear my throat a few times, please forgive me. So gross. All right. I'm going to queue up our first question here, and I'll ask it as well. So the first cue, how many of you have actually already started your 2015 goal setting and planning? And I see we've got Miss Candace Van Wy. Lovely to see you, Candace. Wow. California, actually San Diego is representing tonight, you guys. We've got Erica, Candace, and Francis Nettie Go, all from San Diego. Lovely, lovely women entrepreneurs here. Thank you, ladies, so much for hanging out with me. It's so nice to see you. And by the way, guys, don't forget to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself when you get a chance. Hi, my name is, where I'm from, what I do, and where we can learn more about you. All right. Erica Bishop, Red Cat Inc. says, yes, I've got my first 5 goals in place and mostly written out. Britt says, kinda. Erica, what tool are you using to keep track of your goals? Are you using a journal or like a paper planner, or do you have an app or anything that you like to use? Putting you on the spot, girl. By the way, Erica Bishop, who is an amazing copywriter, this woman happens to be like a well of the most amazing information. She literally can answer just about any question, or within a minute find the answer to any question that you have. She is such a genius. So she's a good person to know. Everybody on this chat are great people to know, but Erica in particular, this woman is just, she's the bomb when it comes to new information. Maybe some things that, it's like, who knew that? Didn't know anybody knew that answer. Erica would know it. All right, anybody else? Any planning for 2015? Yeah, so I have started planning for 2015, and I just use this. I've got a Padfolio. It's kind of a mess. This cute little Padfolio that I got from Staples a while back, and I really just use note paper. What I do is just like scribble out lists and mind maps and all those things, connecting, my goals and things to particular actions that I want to take. And then I also use, it's called the Action Journal. I don't have it in front of me, but the Behance Network a while back came out with this really cool little planning journal. And it's just, it's really simple. It's got like dot grid paper, and then on one side of one of the pages, it's got like 7 little slots. It's really for tracking projects and tasks, but it's got the perfect number of slots for days of the week. So I get to jot a little note about what my focus will be for each day of that week towards accomplishing my goals. And then I use the rest of the space in the dot grid paper to just scribble out whatever the action steps will be, or whatever specifics there are about each day. So nothing too fancy, nothing too structured or regimented. It just, how I like to work. Let me know if you want me to send you the information about the Action Journal, and I'll send you a link. Actually, I'll just make a note to send you a link so that you can check it out. Okay, who we got? And Erica says, goals are on paper, but I'd love some ideas for better tools. Okay, well, I just gave you one. And if anybody else has ideas, please do share. Okay, and Britt said that she did buy a new 2015 calendar. Cool. Britt, you should send us an Instagram of your new calendar with all your fun dates and stuff scribbled in there. All right, so I'm going to come up with question number 2. Now, we're talking about, what do you want, and making your plans for this year. But what's one goal that you wanted to accomplish in 2014 that you didn't get a chance to? My gosh, there's so many that I didn't get a chance to accomplish. One of them, let's see. Well, you know what? I wanted to hire an assistant, pretty much like a production assistant. I think most of you know that my focus was on web design and branding, brand identity design, and project management. So I wanted to have a production assistant that I could work with, like my right-hand man, basically. Somebody who I could pretty much have on retainer to spend time with me every month to kind of plan all the great projects that we'd be working on, and working with clients, and just creative partner. And that did not happen, and I'll share why later on, because there's another cue about why. But yeah, that was one of my biggest things. On a project that I recently did, and I think, again, some of you know that I wanted to transition away from doing design implementation stuff and handing that off to somebody who actually loves hand designing things. But yes, I was able to work with a really nice designer for one of the last projects that I did, but just wasn't able to make it happen to have someone on every project. So that was kind of a bummer. Okay, let's see. So we've got, sorry for the weird, weird pause. I told you it's going to be weird trying to read and interact with you. Got to figure out a better way to do this down the line. But hey, it's the first video session, right? So you're in on the ground level. Oh, Candace replied to, excuse me, replied to Q1. She says she has all of her goals written out for 2015, and she's still putting strategy in place. Nice. So you guys are ahead of the game. You were in it to win it this year. And Erica said, I guess it's creating an email newsletter, Erica. Email newsletter was a 2014 goal that I'll launch in early 2015. Okay, so I guess it was creating her email newsletter, putting it together, promoting it, all that good stuff. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, content strategy overall. Yeah, I guess that was another one that I kind of bombed on. I had all these great ideas, and I actually started off in December of last year with some really, really good ideas, and I was working with my accountability coach at the time, Ashley Littlefield, and she was amazing at helping me get everything planned and scheduled and worked out. And it took me pretty far, for sure. But then, when it comes to just doing it, and that's one of the conversations we'll have in a little bit as well, or one of the things we'll discuss rather. It's like, just, when it comes down to just doing it, and, creating a process of getting things done, and doing things regularly, it just, that kind of fell off the map too. I hear you, Erica. But go ahead and sign me up for your email newsletter. You don't even have to ask me to opt in, because I'm in already. Britt, ooh, great response. She says, I wanted to start making money on my online show, Brittany TV. But it hasn't. Did this get cut off? Let's see. Oh, but she hasn't gotten there yet for 2014. You will get there, Britt. I know that one of the things when you are looking at trying to monetize anything, it's looking at how what's the bare bones minimum sort of low hanging fruit approach to attracting value for what it is you're doing. So what's like the minimum thing, whether it's getting some kind of sponsorship, that's a solid way to start monetizing, especially if there's a brand who loves your target audience, and you can show them that you've got a regular following and that people are engaging. Even if it's just enough to cover the minimal expenses, until you have a solid strategy in place and are able to, build more momentum and traction. There's always a ground level way to start. All right, any more responses to question 2? I might be a few seconds ahead of you guys too. So if it seems like I'm going too far, somebody tell me to slow down and I'll be happy to. All right, and coming up with question 3 here. What held you back from accomplishing the goal, that big goal that you didn't get to accomplish this year? Honestly, for me, it was money. It was, needing to be able to charge a certain amount for projects, and in order to pay somebody to work very closely with me on these things. So again, my goal was to have a production artist, and someone, who was just as creative and just as talented, but who really wanted to focus on the design implementation side of things while I focused on the strategy and the project management side. So really just a skill set that would perfectly complement my own. And yeah, it wasn't feasible financially, I think, and that's a whole, rabbit hole of a discussion. But I guess the basic answer would be, I could not afford it. See, we're talking, this is real talk here. I don't know how many other people will tell you that they couldn't afford to hire somebody. Oh, this cough is so weird. I'm so sorry. I need to drink some wine. I haven't had a sip yet. Check in the chat. See who's responded. I'll sip my wine while you guys think about your responses. So if you're just joining, we are talking about what you really want. And I'm trying not to cough all over this laptop. Thank you, red wine. And I'm getting over a cold. Oh, this is bad. Sorry. So we're talking about what you want, what you really want, and how you can set your goals and make your plans for 2015 to get the most out of 2015. So we've been talking about how if you've already started planning, what tools you're using to set your goals and track your goals and things like that for 2015. We've also been talking about what one goal has been for 2014 that you wanted to accomplish but didn't get to. And now we're asking about what held you back from accomplishing that goal. So if you're just joining, you should be on the main page on my website for RM Truth Live. So you've got this video that's streaming, and right below it is the live Twitter feed. So if you want to chime in, you can use the link. If you aren't logged in already, you can use the link to log in with Twitter, and you'll be able to chime in right from this page. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go do any back and forth. Everything is all on the same page for you. All right, so let's check on these answers. Ooh. Erica, her answer to what held you back from accomplishing that goal, so many reasons: fear, confidence, time, energy. Wow, so I'm guessing it's the lack of confidence, the lack of time, and the lack of energy. That's something. Actually, Erica, that's a really important point, and I'm going to be bringing that up in a little bit. Going to check our time here. Candace, fear, all right. Britt's response is focus on a good plan. I guess she meant focusing in terms of, creating a solid plan to be able to. Her goal was to monetize her video show, Brittany TV, which is really, really cool. You guys should check it out. Such positive, inspiring conversations. She does this really cool morning coffee chat as well. She's such a sweet person, so inspiring, and one of the most loving young women I've ever met. So you definitely should get to know Brittany as well. Yes, the lack of those things. Thank you, Erica. Oh, wow. So Candace, her response from question 2, which was what was one goal that you wanted to accomplish, was she wanted to launch a lifestyle magazine, but it is coming in 2015. So yeah, that's exciting. Can I get a spread in your magazine, Candace? I feel like Woman Entrepreneur of the Year. No, I'm kidding. Maybe, who knows? If I accomplish some goals in 2015, that can be a spread for next December. Don't you love how I just put you on the spot there and now you have to answer? Alrighty. Question 4. So some of you guys mentioned fear. And Britt, I think that your response was kind of around good planning or having a solid plan. I think that's right. For me, my issue was obviously it was money, not really being able to afford to hire this production assistant. But between usually, and I've talked to a few other people about why they weren't able to accomplish their goals and got some similar responses, but it seemed like not having enough time or not having enough money were two of the biggest issues. So between time and money, which has been the biggest barrier for you to getting things done and things overall, not even just this one thing, but overall with things you wanted to accomplish in 2014 and maybe didn't get a chance to? What has been the biggest barrier between time and money? Yeah, Britt, that magazine does sound awesome. And if anybody can pull it off, it is Candace. She's the fashionista, naturalista, the wardrobe stylist. She's the bomb. Love you too, girl. I wish that I were organized enough to be able to also respond via Twitter to your responses, but I feel like this will just go haywire if I try that. So I'm not going to. Next time, though, I'll figure out a way to make sure I'm able to do that. All right, so that question was between money and time, which has been the biggest barrier to getting things done this year? And oh gosh, for me, money. Yikes. And that's sort of a recurring theme, I guess. You know, I don't know, you have all these big ideas and goals and things, and what you don't realize is, or at least, you know, in looking back, what I realize is that even with pretty good planning, there's also, you know, this time that you need, this breathing room, you know, that you need to be able to create the things that you want to create. But if you are spending so much of your time focusing on getting clients and, you know, getting projects in the door, getting paid, you know, if all of those things are your primary focus and you don't have enough breathing room in your time to create things that are attracting new clients, you know, that are keeping keeping your name fresh on people's minds, and, you know, helping to engage people, then you're always going to be in catch up. You know, you're never going to be in a position where you can move things forward. So you'll have all these wonderful ideas, but you never are in a position to move things forward because you're just kind of you're just hustling, and that's no position to be in. Yeah. Kim, you're right. Money. And Erica says her biggest barrier is time, only slightly more than money. Solid plan. Britt said solid plan, with a good focus plus time and money. Yeah, recurring theme. That's usually what it boils down to. So here's the thing. When we're setting goals, a lot of times we're looking at the things that we should be doing, right? So we have all these great ideas of really, really smart things. Candace, I love your idea of starting a lifestyle magazine. But, you know, with Erica, you know, you're looking at this email newsletter that you should create. Britt, you're looking at ways that you should monetize Brittany TV. And, you know, the truth is, one thing that we kind of miss is how we want to work. And this is going to sound strange. I'll explain this in a minute, but we base our goals based on things like, you know, how much we want to make, or you know, things that we should be doing in order to get more clients, right? But doesn't seem like we always focused on how we want to work. One of the things that I realized, and this is something I'll share more about in a later chat, actually next week, we're going to be talking with Amber Wright about finding your niche. So you don't want to miss that. But just really briefly, you know, I really pursued this year feeling like I needed to catch up, you know, feeling like I had something to prove in my business in 2014. And I thought about all the things that I needed to accomplish in order to look like my business was, you know, thriving and moving forward and successful. But it wasn't until recently, like October, that I really stopped to think, you know, how I really want to work. And it was because of a mastermind retreat that I went to, Thrive Hive Live, which is wonderful. It's actually where I met Erica, one of my favorite people now. Yeah, I went to this retreat and we were talking about, you know, what we wanted to accomplish in 2015. And I was thinking about, you know, how I wanted to position myself and how I wanted to move forward in my business. And, you know, I had to realize that, you know, none of the things that I wanted to do really felt good, because it wasn't really based on anything but what it seemed like I should be doing, what was just logical for the business, you know, the path that I chose in my business. But I started thinking about, you know, if my focus is serving people, right? If my focus is on adding value, then I have to think about who I am and what my personality is and how I want to work. I realized that a lot of the things I didn't get accomplished, you know, smaller things, it wasn't because I didn't necessarily have time. And sure, chasing money, or, trying to make sure I could keep the lights on, or keep the cell phone on. It was because excuse me. It was because I was trying to do things that did not light me up. I was trying to, excuse me, do things that just didn't really feel good or didn't really fit in with who I am. And I realize it's 10 and we're getting close to time here. And also that my battery is low. So I need to grab my charger. Give me one moment, please. This is going to go in the blooper reels on the recap of this video. There we go. Let there be incandescent light. Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about how I wanted to work. So, and this will be a longer conversation, but one thing I want to encourage you to do is to think about, in terms of your personality, in terms of the way you want to work, your ideal work day. Before you set any goals in stone, and before you, just hit the ground running with these 2015 goals and plans, take a moment to really think about how you want to spend your time. What is the ideal workday like for you? And I'll put this cue out. I have to write it up and send it out to you. But, and really visualize it. Allow yourself to feel into every moment of it when you, create this visualization. Be thinking about when you wake up in the morning and, what your morning rituals are. And then think about when you sit down with your coffee or your tea, or your wine. I hope not wine starting the day. What are you going to be working on? What are you spending the bulk of your time doing? And honestly, when you think about it and think about how that feels, what's exciting about doing that work and how you're spending that time, a lot of things are going to shift. A lot of things are going to kind of change for you. And the way you prioritize the things that you try to accomplish is really going to be based more on how you feel and who you are, before anything else. So I really hope that was helpful. I would love to get your feedback or your responses about, what are some other reasons or what are some other things that might be missing in terms of trying to set your goals. I'm actually going to check the chat here. Okay, cool. Candace is talking about her mag, and she's got some contributors. Very nice, Francis. She says, prove it to yourself. Do not compare with other people. Even little things are accomplishments. I love that. I think I can retweet that without completely losing my concentration. Well, guys, I see that we're about 3 minutes over our time. So I'm going to let you go from the chat, but I am, from the broadcast, but I am going to hang out with you for a little bit on the Twitter chat if you'll join me, because I would love to keep this conversation going. And if you have any questions or any other feedback that you want to share with me, please feel free to email me at hello@rm-harrison.com, and tell me all about what your goals are for 2015 and what some of the barriers might be for you that you foresee for accomplishing those things. And hopefully you'll join me next week with Amber Wright. We're going to be talking about finding your niche. So you don't want to miss that. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Also, a very special thank you again to Brittany Andreessen, who's been working with me to test the video and the sound and make sure I look and sound right for this chat tonight. So thank you so much, Britt. Much love to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you on the Twitter chat. and I'll see you next week. Bye.